We are so back! Hello everyone, I hope you're doing alright and are ready for Book 1 Shifting Roots to come out very soon. You can snag yourself a pre-order now, and the books will be shipping right around Christmas. If you want to get this cool sticker sheet and one of these bookmarks as a pre-order bonus, make sure to pre-order using the link I've provided below. Bookmarks and stickers will only be available while supplies last, so get your order in soon. Anyway, this has been a long time coming. Updated videos introducing you to the colonies. Today we'll be starting with Field Colony, and this time I promise we will go all the way around Alliance Lake and hit each colony in future videos. Starting with Field Colony's captain, we have Hazelfur, the reliable Earth. Captain Hazelfur has led Field Colony for a long time now. While he may be very small in stature, Hazelfur is no pushover. He is overall very humorless, pragmatic, and stern. His time as Field Colony's captain has kept Field Colony out of the affairs of the other colonies and focused inward. Before he was a leader, his original path was as a keeper, and he has always taken the responsibility of caring for kittens very seriously. So much so that he changed his career path from keeper to envoy so that he would get a say on Field Colony's council to further pass protections for kittens. Hazelfur has also brought many unbound kittens into Field Colony without a second thought. Cats like Fernface, Volfur, Nightpool, and several other Field Colony cats owe Hazelfur for their comfortable lives in Field Colony, as opposed to living in the barren wastes outside of Alliance Lake. At the same time though, Captain Hazelfur is extremely vigilant about keeping mages and adult renegades out of Field Colony's territory. If other colonies want to be more lax, that's their business, but Hazelfur has zero tolerance for them. As you can see with my drawing, I'm actually using the old height chart as a base of reference to create this new one. It's certainly helpful, but also fun to see how I've improved since making the first one. Several improvements for character designs have also happened since then. Next in line to be captain is Hazelfur's second-in-command and mate, Forest Leaf. Hazelfur and Forest Leaf are very like-minded individuals, but where Hazelfur is mostly silently judging, Forest Leaf's controlling nature is much more direct. She runs a tight ship and expects cats to work hard to meet their full potential. That full potential is only met if it aligns with Forest Leaf's expectations. While this makes Forest Leaf a very intimidating figure, at the same time, falling in line with Forest Leaf's demands is almost comforting. She truly has her colony's best interests in mind. She protects their own fiercely, and the colony can depend on her no matter what befalls them. Many rumors circulate about Forest Leaf, mostly wondering if her sense of duty comes from a genuine place, or if she's only into the power and control that comes with it. Misty Snow is Field Colony's only current herbalist, though not through lack of applicants. Captain Hazelfur feels strongly about herbalists needing to have a spiritual connection to the spirits beyond, and be spiritual leaders of the colony. As such, Field Colony is the only colony where herbalists have a permanent position on the council. And second to Forest Leaf, Hazelfur values Misty Snow's guidance above all others. And his trust in her is not for nothing. Misty Snow is a very level-headed and practical cat. Her wisdom and connection to the spirits beyond, and being able to read their signs, is something that the whole colony respects. Unlike Hazelfur and Forest Leaf, however, Misty Snow is known for her thoughtfulness and grace. She is gentle and kind on top of being confident and knowledgeable. As the longest-standing herbalist around the lake, many other herbalists defer to Misty Snow's knowledge. Field Colony currently only has one elder, Swifttail. Although she's not as fast as she used to be, her mind is still swift as her namesake. Mate of Hazelfur's old friend and second, Russet Pelt, and mother of Golden Pelt and Amber Eyes. Swifttail enjoys her retirement with the fruits of her life near and dear. Her son grows into his father's footsteps every day, and Amber Eyes has followed her heart as a keeper, already having 2 litters of kittens. Swifttail feels a lot of pride in how her and her family have made the colony a better place. And Swifttail is no stranger to voicing her opinions on the council. Though she usually agrees with Forest Leaf and Golden Pelt, she isn't afraid to bring up her own concerns and put her vote where she feels is best. And she remains vigilant to keep up with the daily happenings in her fellow cats' lives so that she can do her best by them. Golden Pelt is Field Colony's only envoy. Forest Leaf is extremely particular about who deserves such a high-ranking position in the colony. And even though Golden Pelt is almost guaranteed to become Forest Leaf's eventual second, even the perfect Tom has to work extra hard to stay in Forest Leaf's good graces. Sometimes, Golden Pelt wishes he could be more idealistic, like his friend Spotted Shadow. But in the end, he knows Forest Leaf knows best. Growing up, Golden Pelt's dream was for Spotted Shadow and him to lead Field Colonies side by side, captain and second, mates just like Hazelfur and Forest Leaf. But at some point, Spotted Shadow shifted her vision away from that dream, and Golden Pelt can't understand why. In truth, he still hasn't given up on that dream. It's lonely being the only envoy, so much responsibility, and while he respects and values Forest Leaf and Hazelfur's dutiful work ethic, they don't offer much in emotional support. And while Golden Pelt is surrounded by friends like Fernface, Volfur, Jagged Stripe, and a supportive family, they all look up to him versus being on his level. None of them are willing to challenge him or really understand his position. Not like Spotted Shadow does. He knows that meddling in Spotted Shadow's social life by using the power that she turned down against her might not win him any favors in her eyes now, but he hopes that she will come to realize how dangerous her ideas are, how he's just been trying to protect her, how their dream can still come true. These 5 cats make up Hazelfur's Council, a group of cats consisting of elders, envoys, herbalists, and the second, who advise the captain on major decisions and act for the good of the colony. According to Law 6 of the Ancestors' Law, the council has the right to reject any decision made by the captain if they feel that the captain is not acting in the best interest of the colony. This includes refusing to send rangers on a dangerous mission, or rejecting the captain's choice of second. The decision to reject a captain's order must be unanimous among the council members. The lack of envoys besides Golden Pelt and Field Colony also raises some concern. Envoys are cats who show leadership qualities, clever, pragmatic, brave, and in worst case scenarios, backups in case the captain or second can't perform their duties. To only have one carries some negative implications. But Hazelfur and Forest Leaf are extremely selective. Anyone in the position of envoy in Field Colony has truly earned it in their eyes. The next group of cats in Field Colony we'll be focusing on is the Keepers. Rangers who have chosen this career path are crafters, builders, storytellers, and caretakers. They watch over the colony's kittens and teach them traditions, stories, and handle base training, a period of training a kitten goes through before they join the mentors for field training. Kittens in Field Colony aren't allowed to leave the Keeper's Weave, a series of woven grass and wildflower tunnels that surround the east base, unsupervised until they are half a year old, and so Field Colony cats go through the longest period of base training. This is mostly to protect new claws from opportunistic birds of prey. Kittens can practice hunting and stalking in the Keeper's Weave, as well as moving quickly in tight corners and making tight turns. Hide and seek is a very popular keeper game to play with kittens. Speaking of which, Jagged Stripe is a very playful keeper. Maybe a little naive and too trusting, Jagged Stripe never impressed anyone with his courage, bravery, fighting, or hunting. But he's perfectly suited to the role of a keeper. And now that he has his own litter of kittens to raise, he couldn't be happier. He feels extremely fortunate that his longtime crush Fernface agreed to be his mate. His kittens, Dawn and Dark, are just starting to develop their own personalities. He sees so much of Fernface and his feisty little Dawn, and Dark seems to more so take after him. Amber Eyes is happy for Jagged Stripe. Her own relationship with Volfer is less about any strong feelings, more than a means to an end. Amber Eyes is very happy to be the mother of Timberleg, Lilyfire, and her little Peach. Her skills at weaving and building solid structures is also unparalleled in Field Colony. But she will admit that she prefers to leave the storytelling to the other keepers. The Orange and White Molly is proud of her family and enjoys watching their success, but she's always preferred a background role in it. In particular, Golden Pelt's authority of his peers has always given Amber Eyes a pause for concern, and his continued pursuit of Spotted Shadow despite her disinterest is confusing. Amber Eyes would rather not get involved, and even worries about her son Timberleg being so close to both cats. She just hopes her brother doesn't get him in trouble. Clayfur is the newest addition to the Keepers, only starting his training at the beginning of Shifting Roots. Not many cats know exactly what path they want to enter when they become rangers, and it's often encouraged for cats to take their time and enjoy being a ranger before choosing a path, if they even want to. For Clayfur, he's always enjoyed spending time with his mother, Meadowleap, with the Keepers. He's a quick hunter and valuable ranger overall, but everyone knew that Clayfur was immediately going to choose being a keeper after becoming a ranger. Clayfur is an enthusiastic storyteller and thoughtful tinkerer. When out on patrol, Clay would always be finding what he called neat things to bring back to the Keepers. His younger siblings, Horse and Tabby, are currently about to transition from base training to field training, and he hopes to be a good role model to them. But even more than that, he knows that his mother is going to be retiring as a keeper soon, and he wants to learn everything from her that he can. Horse and Tabby are ready to be done with base training and start their new claw training. Both of them are quite reserved and appear to be mature for their age. Even cats older than them, like Peach and Stone, are more boisterous than these two kittens. But Meadowleap knows that her kittens will come out of their shells eventually. Tabby is particularly kind and thoughtful, kind of like Clayfur, but more demure. And she sees that Horse is eager to explore and learn what's out there. He just needs the push to get going. Meadowleap waited a long time to have kittens, longer than she truly wanted, but sometimes that's just how life happens. Her and Mudnose didn't decide to become mates until they were in their twilight years, but she loves the children they waited to have. As the currently eldest keeper, Meadowleap couldn't be prouder of her role in the colony and how many young cats have stepped into the path of keeper. With a level-headed cat like Amber Eyes, a gentle soul like Jagged Stripe, and a youthful spirit like her own baby Clayfur, the colony would be left in good paws when she and Mudnose joined Swifttail on Hazelfur's council. Missingfoot is a keeper in name only, for the most part. He helps where he can, mostly looking after kittens and telling them stories, but he was never really good at working with his paws, and, since his injury left him without one of his front feet, he's even less inclined to try to learn now. When he was still able to range, Missingfoot was named Blackpelt, and was an official mentor in Field Colony. He originally started field training Golden, and he could see the love that the Yellow Tom had for his own daughter, Spotted Shadow. His own mate, Whitebelly, had been his childhood sweetheart, and since Golden's own father had passed, Blackpelt saw Whitebelly himself, Little Shadow, and Golden as a happy family unit. When Whitebelly died saving him, though, Forest Leaf and Hazelfur blamed him for their daughter's death. Hazelfur gave Blackpelt the derogatory name Missingfoot and retired him from mentoring, giving Golden's training instead to Forest Leaf, who had never completed a new claw's training. The years after losing Whitebelly have been difficult, but Spotted Shadow and Golden Pelt have been there for him throughout. A colony's keepers are the heart and soul of their community. At least, that's how they're treated in Field Colony. Since Captain Hazelfur used to be a keeper himself, he values the care of kittens above all else, and so keepers carry a lot of respect, and that can't be said for every colony. Keepers in Field Colony are busy year-round, not just with one base, but 3, to tidy, repair, and remodel. Field keepers have lots of responsibilities before the caretaking of kittens is even considered. Projects like the Keeper's Weave, the Legacy Weave, and caring for the windswept willow are key elements of Field Colony's culture. Raising kittens and teaching them the ancestors' law, taking them out on field trips to observe rangers and other careers, and telling them stories about past and present deeds is paramount to Field Colony's tight sense of community. Now we move on to the mentors, rangers who are in charge of training new claws and passing down colony techniques to its rangers. While any cat is given the opportunity to mentor, only specific cats who choose to follow the path are capital M mentors. These cats oversee all training and test both new claws and rangers on their skills. There are only a few mentors in Field Colony, but they take their work seriously. Unlike other colonies, Field Colony cats mostly go everywhere in groups. Be it ranging, foraging, or hunting, it's uncommon to see a singular Field Colony cat out on their own. That's why many rangers don't like putting up with the inconveniences of new claws, who haven't learned all the hunting positions and tail signals to execute a successful hunt. So while everyone is encouraged to help train a new claw in Field Colony, most prefer to leave the training to the mentors and merely let new claws shadow train. That is, not offer much other than protection should things get sticky. Mudnose, Spotted Shadow, and Timberleg make for an excellent team of teachers. Patient, firm, and compassionate, they take pride in not only tutoring their new claws in strategy, discipline, and form, but also in being a good role model and a dependable ally. It's this trust they form with their new claws that inspired each of them to become mentors to begin with. Spotted Shadow has a complicated relationship with her colony. While her position in it is to literally train cats to follow Captain Hazelfur and Forest Leaf's leadership, and by extension Goldenpelt, Spotted Shadow often clashes with them ideologically. As a kitten and young new claw, she and Goldenpelt were close friends and companions, rivals and crushes. She believed in Goldenpelt's vision of the future leading Field Colony side by side. But when her spots started to appear, Shadow's future seemed less certain. The colony took her spots as a bad omen, until Misty Snow confirmed that it was no such thing. And then, just as she was getting back into training, her mother Whitebelly was killed, and her father Missingfoot was permanently disfigured. Shadow spent months helping her father and Misty Snow in the hope that her father would live. She resented her grandparents for their poor treatment of her father, and grew closer to Misty Snow. Maybe she was a bad omen. Maybe she should train to be an herbalist instead of an envoy once she became a ranger. She could still help lead the colony without answering to Forest Leaf directly. But Misty Snow rejected her as an herbalist, so Spotted Shadow continued her training. All the while, her heart wandered further from her best friend to instead her dear friends across borders. Dawnfrost, who she had a brief secret relationship with before both Mollys mutually ended things, knowing that both of them were too attached to their colonies to make a relationship work. And because Spotted Shadow had fallen deeply infatuated with her friend from Marsh Colony, Wildfur. When Spotted Shadow officially turned down becoming an envoy in favor of mentoring, Forest Leaf was furious, which just strengthened Spotted Shadow's resolve. Mentoring her first new claw, Nightpool, Spotted Shadow finally felt like she found the right path. Her current new claw, Peach, thinks the world of Spotted Shadow. Sweet as her name implies, Peach is a fast learner, if maybe a bit too enthusiastic and boisterous at times. She might look like just a ball of fluff, but Peach is actually quick in both the literal and figurative sense. She knows that Spotted Shadow's standing in the colony is messy, though she doesn't really know why, other than being a constant annoyance to Forest Leaf. Peach gets to train with her big brother Timberleg and her buddy Stone as well. Her brother embarrasses her sometimes, but what big brother doesn't? It might be naive, but Peach feels like she has the best teachers around the lake that a new Claw could ask for. Timberlake is technically a mentor in training, with Stone as his first new Claw. But he settled into the path like a glove. Timberlake gives most of that credit to having such good mentors in Spotted Shadow and his uncle Goldenpelt. Very earnest and dependable, Timberlake impressed the colony with how quickly he is taken to his path. Timberlake is close friends with Nightpool, who he grew up and trained with, and when alone together, Timberlake and Nightpool can actually be quite mischievous, laughing and telling their more silly adventures to their friend Starkpath in Marsh Colony. Many cats think that Timberlake is the father to Nightpool's kittens, but the two are just close friends. Timberlake's new Claw Stone started off as shy and soft-spoken, afraid of messing up or disappointing his mentor. But Timberlake has boosted Stone's confidence quickly. Stone hangs off Timberlake and the other mentor's instructions earnestly. He has a valiant heart and strong desire to prove himself. Peach often outwits Stone during training, and Stone is determined to beat her eventually. He wouldn't consider her a rival per se, just another awesome cat to aspire to reach their skill level. Mudnose is the eldest mentor. He's trained most cats in Field Colony now at this point, and he's passed everything that he knows down to Spotted Shadow and Timberlake. He was deeply sad to lose Spotted Shadow's father, Missingfoot, as a mentor, as the Tom had a big heart who really knew how to treat young cats with care and respect. But his daughter Spotted Shadow has many of those same qualities, and Mudnose was thrilled when she asked to be a mentor by his side. As a younger Tom, Mudnose was more strict like Forest Leaf, and more irresponsible than he would care to admit. It wasn't until his older age that he mellowed out, and if his time mentoring has taught him anything, it's that he hopes Field Colony has a future where cats feel more comfortable being kind and thoughtful, like Spotted Shadow and Timberlake are. With them training Field Colony's new Claws, he knows the future is in good paws. And finally, we have what the bulk of every colony is made up of: Rangers. Field Colony's numbers have been hurting for several seasons. With the largest territory and the fewest cats to range it, everyone in the colony is aware of the lurking danger to the southwest, with Captain Rainfall threatening to steal Field Colony's south base. No doubt to expand River Colony's ever-growing ranks. But Field Colony depends on the rotation of their hunting grounds to stay well fed, so no compromise can be had. Field's Rangers are also the most paranoid of the unbound lands, and the renegade magi who roam it. With their open fields and meadows, it's all too easy to sneak in and steal from Field Colony, and with Captain Hazelfur and Forest Leaf, pressure to protect what's theirs runs these Rangers down. Field Colony ranging is all about trust and community, but the Rangers feel as though they're the only ones who truly understand how close their colony is teetering on the edge of destruction. But it's easier to put your head down and get the job done than it is trying to speak up about their anxieties. One Ranger less affected by these troubles is Fleetfoot, Misty Snow's carefree brother, mate of Grey Mist, and father to Stone. Fleetfoot prefers to live life not sweating over things, and he can be a bit of an overgrown kitten. His childlike enthusiasm is either contagious or annoying, depending on what ranger you ask. For his mate, Grey Mist, Fleetfoot's personality is like a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day. Grey Mist is much more down-to-earth and serious, but she knows that's what makes her and Fleetfoot a good match. Both of them see their better qualities in Stone, and Grey Mist knows that he's going to be a great ranger one day, and maybe even climb the ranks to stand next to Goldenpelt as an envoy. Nightpool came to Field Colony as a kitten. Or rather, she was found half-starved and barely alive along the outskirts of where Seabreeze Field meets the wastes. After a while of nursing her back to health, Little Night woke up in the Healer's Nook in Field Colony's south base, not knowing who she was or where she came from. Most of her memories from around that time remain hazy, but the memories she does have are all good. Playing with fire and timber, being cared for by Amber Eyes and Spotted Shadow. To Nightpool, Field Colony is all she knows, and she's happy to be a part of it. She does have her secrets, though, the true father of her not-yet-born kittens being one. Nightpool doesn't want to make unnecessary waves, particularly with Forest Leaf, by admitting that she's secretly been meeting an unbound Tom, one who left Field Colony behind. Nightpool's friend Lilyfire is also cautious about poking the bee's hive. Lilyfire initially appears quiet and introspective, but she will make her voice heard when necessary. In truth, Lilyfire has a lot of strong feelings about things, but she's wise enough to see that the colony already has a lot of strong personalities and she'd rather not get involved. When it was time to get her ranger name, Fire dreaded the idea of Hazelfur naming her something like Firefur or Firenose, or something terribly plain. So, surprising to many, Lilyfire got up the courage to ask Captain Hazelfur if she could choose her own name, something that Hazelfur rarely granted, as Hazelfur doesn't care for outlandish names. But in the end, as a testament to her strong will, Lilyfire got her request approved. Thrushspot and her brother Clayfur are Field Colony's newest rangers. Thrushspot supports Clayfur going for his career path right away, though Thrushspots really can't imagine being so set to pick something right after all the training they already did. Thrushspot's plans to enjoy the freedom of being a ranger. She doesn't see why anyone would be so quick to throw themselves into service of some supposed greater good or whatever. Being a ranger is good enough for her. Too many cats get caught up in their own feelings about stuff, and Thrushspots thinks it's just embarrassing. Just don't take things so personally. Fernface and her brother Volfur also came to Field Colony as kittens, extremely wild and aggressive. For as long as they remembered, it was just them taking care of each other. As Field Colony cats, Fernface and Volfur make for strong and fierce friends. Fernface in particular has remained aggressive and headstrong. She's earned a reputation around the lake as a fierce and unrelenting fighter. Fernface is a strong and dutiful cat to the colony, but her true loyalty really lies with Goldenpelt. There isn't a doubt in Fernface's mind that Goldenpelt is destined to lead Field Colony to a glorious future, unlike passive and unimpressive Hazelfur. Fernface also can't stand Spotted Shadow and soft-hearted cats like her. They don't know how harsh life really is, and think they can just cuddle their way out of problems, and it makes Fernface's skin crawl. She's also scared of such foolish ideals getting into Goldenpelt's head. The sooner he realizes that Spotted Shadow is a weakness dragging him down, the sooner he'll realize that Fernface has been his best ally this whole time. Volfur doesn't have the ambition of his sister, or even the tenacity, but he follows his sister around like he's still a lost kitten. The both of them are often together, being petty gossips with each other and giving cats like Spotted Shadow nasty looks. And although Fernface is the more outgoing one, many find Volfur the more agreeable cat to get along with. In particular, Volfur can be quite the calm presence in a tense situation. If either sibling wanted to, they could probably apply themselves to be envoys, but they would rather defer to Goldenpelt and Forest Leaf's leadership instead. And the very last cat we have to talk about is Shadowclaw, Jagged Stripe's father. Small and wiry, many underestimate Shadowclaw as an opponent, but Shadowclaw is one of the quickest cats in the colonies. He's prone to show off that fact when he can, starting fights when diplomacy could be used instead. Shadowclaw's quick temper only worsened when his mate Lilac Stripes left the colony without a goodbye soon after Jagged Stripe was born. Confused and angry, Shadowclaw didn't have much to do with his son's life, preferring to leave him to the care of the keepers. Shadowclaw wishes that Captain Rainfall would just drop all the pleasantries and just declare war against the other colonies already. Then he would have plenty of cats to sink his teeth into. And there we have it. That's Field Colony. Next up will be Oak Colony, drawn by our co-director, Snap. Book 1 of the Alliance Saga, Clouded Moon Shifting Roots, is ready for pre-order. If you want to pre-order the book and get a signed copy from our author, Avalon, along with this sticker sheet and one of these bookmarks, be sure to order from here, and let Avalon know which colony bookmark you want. Otherwise, you can pre-order and just get the book by itself here, or the ebooks when it releases on December 23rd. Until next time, everyone, I hope you have a fantastic day and stay inspired.